Come on, you can do it. There you go. All right, it says we're live.
It lies. Okay, if you'd like to donate and keep the air conditioning running, um, hell, in 50 minutes we may need to keep the rain off. It's Texas. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
donate here.
It won't rain again until September.
Oh,
Yeah.
you say that now. If you like coffee, talk to these guys. Bear in mind, we're doing a coffee anthology. So if you have coffee short stories,
Stop shaking it.
I can check it if I want to.
Jesus. I eat books, send you to school.
I eat the books because they're boring. If you like smart ass t-shirts, and who doesn't, talk to this guy. Smart ass t-shirts. Poor Tiffany says this is her entertainment. I feel for that child.
Yeah.
Oh, I spent at least a year looking so forward to being able to listen to you guys while I was at work and had an earbud. Unlike my brother-in-law, who's insane enough to listen to this at work in his office, which has to have the door open or the HR guy flips out, and he's not using earphones. The man's crazy.
Oh, joy.
Well, I spent a year in an insane asylum listening to these guys, so quite literally.
So now that we've established we're all not quite right.
we ain't quite right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
well,
I don't even know what to say after that.
nope. There is no good retort to that.
And we're off the rails.
Rails, no, stinking rails. Assault. Alien Family Values. I say assault family violence. Alien Family Values went live today. Guest editor Sandra Medlock. Y'all need to buy this one. It's good. It's good. Cedar did some fantastic artwork, and the adverts on the inside are great, especially the one about adopt a human today.
Yeah.
I
A lot
have
of
been
text in that.
having, yeah, I have been having a lot of fun, not with just with the illustrations, but also I don't write the ad copy. So y'all know that's not me. That is the rest of the brilliant staff at Rack Press. We actually have a channel where people spitball all of the ideas that they have, and then I illustrate them and try to lay them out so they make sense. Adopt a Human and also the Galactic Health Council warning that's in this book. Both of those required some creative design choices, but they're so worth it.
I like the reward notice for the guy that's 235 years in arrears on his
Yes.
on his penny Columbia Records penny 235 years in arrears.
Yeah, and trying to get his mugshot to look like he was really that old.
You know, sax and violins are not allowed in family stories.
You haven't been reading Rackter Press, have you?
Words.
Well, the funny thing is, you were talking about assault family violence, or the acronym for Alien Family Values.
Yeah.
I had been using that when I was doing the covers, and it's AFV, and then I'm like, wait, that stands for something else.
It does. In Texas Penal Code, is assault family violence.
Yeah.
And in television terms, it's America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah. Yeah, that does kind of bring up an interesting point. We were doing our weekly work down at the post yesterday. And imagine, if you will, a bunch of grumpy old vets sitting down there drinking Navy coffee.
I don't have to imagine it. I don't know.
Hush.
Okay.
And we got to talking about radio, specifically about AFARTs. AFARTs, for those that may not know the acronym, now I forgot it. Armed Forces Radio Television. Armed Forces Radio Television System. Anyway, back in the day, pre everything being broadcast via satellite, the only way we got sports was over AFARTs. And it was usually over HF. Now, for those of you that are in the military, who remember HF, it could either be real good or real bad depending on the day. And well, day or night, depending. Diego Garcia was 4 meg during the day, 12 meg at night. But that was the only thing that we had to get sports on, because you didn't have TV down there. Didn't have TV on the ships. So a lot of stuff, commercials. Mike, back in the day, AFARTs didn't have commercials. I actually knew people that got commercials shipped to them just so they could have commercials.
Ugh, grog's sake, this not be cheap.
Yeah. Anyway, that brought up some other memories, and kind of where I'm going with this, to make a short story long, is I can remember being a kid and my grandfather going out on Saturday morning and listening to baseball in the garage. Listening.
Because that's where you get the signal.
Huh?
So that's where you get the signal.
That's where he was away from grandma and didn't have to listen to her bitching at him.
About listening to baseball.
And he listened to baseball. And he would always listen to either Mel Allen for the Yankees or Pee Wee Reese or Dizzy Dean,
Mm-hmm.
because he had seen them play. And it was the same thing when we'd have the family get-togethers. You know, all the guys would be outside around a car with a radio turned up,
Mhm.
listening to a baseball game or a football game. After the women kicked us out of the house, they were doing whatever they were doing. Everybody, all the guys were outside. But it was the words, the way those announcers would paint word pictures that would bring you into that event. You know, and it was just, you could picture yourself being there. And then that led into a discussion of books. You know, because Navy, I think probably more than most of the other services, you almost always saw Navy guys and girls with a book in their pocket. And I mean, the little trade pubs.
Yeah, the little mass market
Mass
paperback that
market
fit in
ones,
your
yeah.
pocket. Yeah.
I swear that's why they on the old M81 God's Played.
Yeah.
That's the sponsor pockets are the exact size for a paperback.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing was, it was Heinlein, Spillane, E. Doc Smith, Robert E. Howard, Zane Grey, Louis L'Amour. Yeah. Have a good one, Brennan.
Better be safe.
Paperbacks fit in a saw pouch. Yeah.
Yeah.
You youngsters.
No, David Drake.
Yeah.
I remember going an entire exercise with two David Drake paperbacks in my left sponsor pocket.
Yeah, the words that they wrote would put you into that scene or into that character.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing was, they tended to use all five senses.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't see today is a lot of writers using the other senses. And John makes a good point too. Word pictures are why I prefer books over movies. I think part of the reason you don't see a lot of authors using the senses today is they grew up on movies.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
doing a movie in somebody's head.
Yeah. They're doing a movie. They're not doing a book. They're not using all the senses, because you don't use all the senses in a movie. All you see is the visual.
And the audio.
But it's the same thing with the kids too, in that today a kid will, rather than listening to music, they will go watch the video before they listen to the music itself. Because they don't know what they're supposed to think about the music.
Yeah, and the other one that's kind of takes some of the fun out of it is that they'll go and listen to the or watch the music video with the lyrics, the closed captioning toggled on.
Yeah.
So you don't have any more misunderstood lyrics.
Yeah,
That's half the fun of it.
yeah,
Girls on squirrels.
yeah, Rick. That is an excellent point. The Sony Walkman, yeah, where everybody could have their own music with their little headphones.
Mhm.
I gave a presentation a long time ago about writing. I said that if you were an author, what you're doing, you're taking a blank canvas of somebody's mind and painting a scene on it. And I told them, don't forget the smell of the paint.
Yeah. Well, it's more than the smell of the paint too, because nobody's mind is
Identical.
no, nobody's mind is void.
Yeah.
So you're talking about blank canvas, but you're assuming that the mind that you're writing for is a canvas, not watercolor paper,
Yeah.
not a video screen, not a gessoed board.
Yeah.
It's coming from the artist's thing. We're talking about all the different kinds of
Mm-hmm.
mediums and things that you can paint on. You're assuming that we're not talking about a rattle can in the wall of a building. Which is a whole different smell
But in Ian's case, that may be right.
well,
At least the rattle can.
it's a whole different smell. It's a
Yeah.
sensation, but that's what authors have to work with, which is we are not writing for a void, so we don't have to fully explain everything, and our readers will get very tired of us.
Yes.
Oh,
Shit.
well, part of my point was you've got some folks that are Leonardo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's intricate and everything. And then you've got other folks that it's, a couple of brushstrokes.
Yeah.
Gives
Mhm.
you,
Sumi, the very you're trying to convey as much as possible in a single brushstroke.
Ted says my mind is definitely a rattle can. No, the rattle can is on the author side, Ted, not the reader side.
but just
Ted's an
remember,
author, yes.
as an author, you need
Yeah.
to paint a vivid picture. Now,
Well,
it doesn't have to. It has to be vivid. It doesn't have to be detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do.
Some authors are a Rothko.
Yeah.
And some authors are a Tintoretto.
But it has to be vivid, not necessarily detailed.
Yeah.
But vivid.
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, and there are shortcuts that you can use if you know your audience. The 12 Twisted Tropes thing,
Yeah.
the anthology that you did, Jim.
Yeah.
And the reason that worked is because the audience went into this with expectations.
Right.
And you wanted us to turn those expectations on their ear.
Yeah.
And surprise the audience. But you can actually use those as cheat codes
Yeah.
as authors of, when you write something in a certain way, this whole thing pops into the reader's mind.
Yeah.
Now, if you break outside of your usual audience, this is where when people tell me, "Oh, I want to write whatever
Yeah.
genre here, so I'm not going to read anything from that genre."
Ah,
That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because then you don't know what your
You don't know what
audience's
cues.
expectations
Yeah.
are. So you're charging in with a rattle can and going at canvas.
Yeah.
And what you're coming up with is different than the audience who thought you were going to be going on the
Well,
side of a cinder block building.
On
Yeah.
that, Rita just got done with Maggie Noir and she had some fantastic stories, but they needed to be noir. And there were a couple of authors that obviously had never read noir, and they turned in Maggie stories,
Mhm.
and one of them was really good, but it had nothing at all to do with noir.
Yeah.
It really didn't. Another one was okay, but again had no noir elements.
Yeah.
And so we're discussing. I honestly didn't think we'd have to do this, but it showed. I should stop thinking that for Maggie Noir 2, we need to put up the elements of Maggie Noir.
Yeah.
No, elements of noir.
well, that's
And Lee Allred pointed out something that I thought was brilliant. I mean, I frequently think the man's brilliant. The more longer I know him, the more impressed
Yeah.
I am with him. But he said that a good, quick way to get people introduced to noir is to have them listen to some of the old radio shows, to bring it back to what you were talking
Yeah.
about, Jim, with the radio programs.
Yep.
I got to listen to some of those in study hall in high school because one of my classmates had a whole bunch of them on cassette tapes, which dates me in and of itself. And he would bring them in and we'd listen to old radio shows for an hour, and it was everything from the Shadow News through to the Red Skelton show. But I think there are a lot of those available out there, and they're a great way to have a rich experience with just the voice.
Yeah.
But as a writer, if you listen to how they're doing some of the things that they're doing, and yes, it's not text on page, but there's still tricks that you can find in there that are very useful.
Well, it's like one of those how to write memoirs or whatever you want to call them. You know, you must write this way. Said never use anything other than the word said when you're
I
doing
don't
dialogue.
agree. I do not agree.
No.
So I'm doing research right now, getting ready to try and do something whenever my brain wanders back in and is ready to write again. So I have been buying boys' books from a certain era.
Yeah.
And I have Encyclopedia Brown, Danny Dunn. My husband wandered into the office this morning with, why is there a mass market paperback of the Mad Scientists Club on the kitchen counter? Because I forgot it in there.
3 investigators.
I don't know that I have a copy of that yet, but I've been acquiring all of these old children's books, including I already had the second Tom Swift book, so I got the first Tom Swift book.
Yeah.
Not Tom Swift Jr.
Tom Swift.
Tom Swift.
Yeah.
1910. The Tom Swift series sold second only to the Bible.
Yeah.
It was hugely popular and hugely influential. Ben Yallow and I were talking about boys' books, and he told me, and he made sure to let me know that he wasn't that old, but he had read Tom Swift growing up. And Tom Swift gets a bad rap for what's called Tom Swifties.
Yeah.
Which is using a modifier for the response word at the end of the dialogue. So instead of he said, he retorted.
Yeah.
He, whatever. Now, of course, my brain's gone blank on Swifties. I'm sure
Yeah.
the chat's probably going to go crazy with it. And I was curious. And I think, and I did have had some Tom Swift Juniors in the past. I'm not sure I currently have any copies. And they were worse.
Yeah.
They really pushed that to the point where it was ridiculous. Tom Swift itself peppers them in there in such a way that it makes it a little easier to follow, for the reader to follow the intent of the author in how the dialogue character, the one that's speaking, is feeling
Yeah.
without
Which was that for?
without pulling them into their head.
Well, like I said, when you're painting a picture,
Mhm.
okay, you got said. When somebody says something, they say something.
Yeah.
When somebody retorts, that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Exclaimed
Yes.
is
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
Sighed,
Whispered. Yeah.
whispered,
Yeah.
snapped.
It's wonderful, she caroled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RK says Sirius XM Classic Radio Channel 148.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So
Who knew that noir would appear in an insurance investigator story? Duh.
the Continental Op. Hello.
Yeah.
But for back to noir, if you will rent Brick, Laura, and the director's cut of Blade Runner, you've got a thorough noir grounding.
And those are all. Laura is considered foundational. Deej and I had a long conversation. I will add to that if you're going to write Moggy Noir, you should get yourself a watchable copy and or streaming or however you're going to do it of a movie called Bugsy Malone.
Yeah.
You absolutely must. If you're going to write Moggy Noir, you need to watch Bugsy Malone.
Double Indemnity is another
Double
one.
indemnity.
Double Indemnity is one of the
But
seminal classics.
If you want a thorough grounding,
Yeah.
Brick, Laura, the director's cut of Blade Runner.
Yeah. And if you want to read for a grounding, you want to look at Hammett, Chandler, and Spillane.
Yeah. Maltese Falcon.
Yeah. Those are the ones that I was doing a deep dive into when I wound up writing Pixie Noir.
Yeah.
Because the first bit of that was written to make Sanford laugh.
Yeah.
As a fantasy take on noir. And at the time, I'm sure that there were other people that had written noir and fantasy together. But the part of the reason that sold so well and continues to sell so well is I took it in directions that people weren't expecting.
Yeah. No, Jesse says 9 Lives of Cat's Eye Gomez by Simon Hogg. That one I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know that one, but it's there are various ways to approach noir.
Yeah.
And film, radio, and books all have similar themes, but they're not
Yeah.
congruent with one another tightly. But they're definitely worth exploring because they're each different.
If you've got those in your head,
Yeah.
you'll send in a story that's got noir elements. Like I said, we had a couple that obviously had no clue what noir was.
Yeah.
Well, and here's a question that Jason posted: The Big Lebowski, is that a modern noir?
Yeah.
It shades toward it, but I wouldn't call
I
it
have
noir.
not seen that. Is that the one with the dude in
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So what's the dude?
I'm familiar with the memes of the dude and that kind of concept. So I would
No,
say
I don't
I
consider
would
it
say
noir.
that based on what I've seen of it, it would not actually be noir.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can have elements of noir without being noir.
Stoner noir.
It's not really noir.
No, it's not.
It's a good movie.
It shades toward it.
I thoroughly enjoy it, but it's not. It
Well, and this is where the fun of being able to write independently comes in. For me, as an indie author, as self-published, I don't have to be like, okay, I'm falling within genre expectations.
Yeah.
And that's where you can pull elements that you like
Yeah.
out of something and splice them into something totally different and create something really fun and original.
Yeah.
But if you're submitting to an anthology that has a specific theme, you need to pay attention to that, because we ran into that with Goblin Market. I rejected a couple of stories that there were no goblins, there were no market.
Yeah.
Even at a stretch, and with squinting one eye, I'm like, this story does not fit the theme.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The reason I was laughing, I remember one email I got about my Twisted Trope noir detective. You asshole. Now that screwed me up for reading noir for the rest of my friggin' life. Because I'm going to wonder if it was all planned.
There's a 1930s noir vampire hardboiled private detective series. P and Elrod. P and Elrod did one. I read the first couple and they were really good. And after that, I never kept up with it. It was very definitely hard boiled.
Mm-hmm.
PI. I can't remember. P and Elrod was the author.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, Dawn, you need to pull the laptop out and get to work. Well,
I
she did
I
French
stopped.
fry her hand.
I stopped bugging her about it.
A few more months, we can bug her in person.
Oh, I will, and I will.
But the thing is, each of us writes differently. So each of us, both here and all the folks in the chat, everybody has a chance to go their own way. Because that's the beauty of being independent. And that's the beauty of being an author. You can make it as sparse a descriptor or an info dump, whatever you want to do, if it works for you and it works for your story. Because every reader is different. That's the, I think, the bottom point we're trying to get to, or what,
Mm-hmm.
Especially what.
Yeah, because and it's knowing your audience.
Yeah.
So if you're writing a story and you know what your audience is, you'll hit better with with your readers. So you don't want to write a hard-boiled noir science fiction and then market it to romance readers. It will bounce. And I mean, it's one of those things that I'm having conversations right now with a friend that's writing something, and she's like, the problem here is that I know that the way the female character is acting is the most sensible, logical thing that's likely to keep her and her party of people that are with her alive.
Yeah.
But your average modern romance reader female is going to be screaming that they would never ever do that because they're all damn full of idiots and would promptly get themselves killed in that situation. But it she has to decide what audience she's writing for.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if she's writing for one audience, they're going to wall the book.
Yeah.
And if she's writing for the other audience and she doesn't adapt it with their expectations, they're going to wall the book. There's ways she can get around it. She can hang a lampshade on it
Yeah.
and actually explain in story why the character is doing what the character is doing.
Yeah.
To stay alive.
Yeah, well, it's it's like the conversation we've had more than once over supper about the Halloween
that
movies.
Oh, that question.
Yeah. And all of that ilk of the horror,
Mm-hmm.
If we wrote it, it'd be over in 30 seconds. One, the kids would never go in without guns.
Right. And
Two, they would never open the fucking door.
yeah.
You cleared the basement with a frag grenade? Of
Yeah.
course I did.
Whereas on the other hand, I have written a couple of stories that people told me later were horror, and
Yeah.
I did not intend to write them as horror. However, I was pulling from real life experiences, and there are situations where the human brain no longer acts logically.
Yeah.
Because it can't any longer, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and I've explored that in fiction.
Yeah.
And people come to me and they're like, "This is horror," and I'm like, "This was very, very real."
Yeah.
It takes.
Well, it depends on what your definition of horror is.
Mhm.
And that depends on what you have done or had to do in your life.
Right. And because here's the thing about a lot of modern horror is slasher gore, just gross them out. That's not really horror. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, that's teenage child trying to gross out the family at the dinner table.
Yeah.
I have been that child.
I'm not a big fan of those movies.
And I'm not even talking about movies. I'm talking about books. Some of the
Yeah.
covers that float across
Oh,
my
yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the creeping, chill, inescapable dread. There's no
Yeah.
way out kind of horror. Tends to be what I have written because I've lived it.
Yeah.
So I've had to recalibrate what I'm doing so that I don't give the readers that feeling.
Yeah.
Maintaining a logical mindset in times of high stress is something you have to train for, and you must maintain the training.
Yeah.
And you have to train hard. You have to train hard and dedicated to maintain logical thought patterns in high stress environments.
Yep.
People will think they're thinking logically, but they're not.
And if your early training was actually conditioning, and then you spend years living with constant trauma, it does really ugly things to the human psyche.
Yeah. Jesse said if Larry wrote Cujo, it would be 2 to 5 pages long. 2 of them would be discussion of the best caliber for St. Bernards. True. But the other side of that coin is, and I'll use this as an example, guys that taught me how to shoot were all World War II combat vets.
Mm-hmm.
Their version of horror and ours
Mm-hmm.
were totally different.
Yeah, completely different.
Because what they had seen, experienced, and lived through, or watched friends not live through,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say scarred them, but it changed them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And any of us that have been in the military have been changed.
Mm-hmm. And we mock the reporter that fired an AR-15 and it terrified him.
Yeah.
But if someone has been completely and utterly sheltered and conditioned to be afraid of something, it's like you scream and snatch a baby up when you see a snake, and the child is going to always be afraid of a snake. And that's why is that reporter never had any calibration of what real fear, real danger was like.
No.
I mean, he's still mockable. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, trust me.
He's definitely mockable.
But I'm just saying that when you look at writing those kinds of characters, you also have to look at how that happened.
Yeah.
Even if it's totally alien to you.
Well, it was like Andy said, Dad lost fingers in a lawnmower accident. World War II vet neighbor, totally unfazed, walked over, picked up the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because it was probably not the first time he'd picked up pieces and parts. Yeah.
Speaking of picking up pieces and parts,
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
um,
That's a segue.
yeah, I don't give business to vanity publishers. Stop it. If somebody wants you to pay them to publish your stuff, they're a vanity publisher. Do not publish them. Today's rant brought to you by Canon Publishing. Canon, run by Jeff Holmes, good friend of ours, nice guy. JF has a young author who has a book that JF would really like to publish. However, said baby author started the book at a vanity publisher.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Pay X number of dollars to these yahoos to publish his book. They publish it. He's got no money out of it, and he would like to have Canon publish his book, and that they'll do right by him. John Holmes and Canon Publishing are good folks.
That they are.
The vanity publisher has ghosted this kid, and John can't touch his work because
Of the contract. He
it's
signed.
published on Amazon, and Amazon will not turn loose of it until the publisher, not the kid, the vanity publisher, turns loose of it. They're not going to. On top of this, apparently, according to John, the kid's got a really good sequel that Canon Publishing and Jeff Holmes can't touch because the contract for the first one apparently got some IP stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I want everybody to remember, authors and writers are the single most parasitized organisms on this little green dirt ball. Parasites. Vanity publishers, parasites. They're worse than parasites. If you see a tapeworm that's lost all of his self-respect, that's a vanity publisher. Do not ever pay someone to publish your stuff. Just, they're disgusting. They're parasites. I dislike them intensely. They prey on the young and the eager, and they're totally mercenary about it. And the little bastards need to get kicked in the gooblies and have the boot left there.
Rick, the problem is that the kid probably can't afford a good lawyer.
Well, depending on the contract, he may be out of work and bad luck anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that goes along with that is that the kid may or may not be able to afford a lawyer. The likelihood is that the contract has either been broken due to the publisher's actions already, or is unenforceable. So if the kid can scrape together a couple $100 to sit down with the contract and a lawyer, then there may be avenues for him to claw his stuff back. There might not be.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, which is before you sign a contract, you want to sit down with a lawyer.
Yeah.
Spend that couple $100 up front so you're not trying to wind up spending thousands of dollars later to get your IP back.
Yeah.
And honestly, for a first-time book, for a first-time author, fuck it and drive on.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say that. I know how difficult it is to abandon a baby.
Yeah.
But you're never going to realize back the money that it will cost you to fight that for that book.
There are decent publishers out there.
Yeah.
Three Ravens, Canon Publishing. There are us, for that matter. Jumpmaster.
Yeah.
There are good small publishers out there. There are also plenty of websites that will tell you which ones are ass monkeys and which ones are decent. Do a little what's the word? What's the legal word I'm looking for? Due diligence. Do some due diligence before you hand a $5,000 in your manuscript to these ass monkeys.
Well, that should be your first clue if they're asking for money to publish it.
Yeah. And
You don't hand them the manuscript. You sure as hell don't hand them the money.
Don't sign a contract. If Yogg's Law, money flows from the publisher to the author, not the other way.
Yeah.
A decent publisher will split the royalties, will publish and split the royalties. just every time I see one of these, I get enraged all over again. There's an elder gentleman of my acquaintance that has spent a significant amount of money. I'm talking 5 figures worth to a vanity publisher because they're a Christian publishing house and he thought they were decent.
Yeah. And as we've mentioned more than once on this podcast, live stream, whatever the hell we're calling it today.
This thing.
Yeah. SM Sterling, Peshawar
Oh, yeah.
Lancers.
With yeah.
Because and Steve knew what he was doing.
He needed money.
He needed the money. So when he signed the contract, they basically got the IP.
They own everything. They own the IP and everything.
Yeah. Which means even though us as fans want a follow-on to Peshawar Lancers, Steve Sterling cannot write it.
Nope. Not without that publisher's. I think it's Tor, but don't quote me on that. I think it's Tor. And without their permission, and they
don't want it.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
Nope. Write us something else.
Yeah.
Then give me the IP back.
Yeah.
But this little gentleman, the 5 figures, and I mean this literally. He paid a check with 5 spaces in front of the decimal to this company because they were a Christian publishing house and he trusted them.
Yeah.
And the cover art is clip art. The editing was somebody went through looking for the red squiggles.
Yeah.
And right clicked and clicked the very first choice on the right click. And I would name and shame if I could remember them. I named them on here about some months ago, a year ago maybe. I was so mad at what they do. I like this little gentleman. He's got a decent pension, so I don't know that he's hurting, but holy gods.
Yeah. And we know a little old lady that was
still is
paying. Started out at $500, and I think it was up to $1,500 to publish her book. She's a retired school teacher.
Yeah. She's a little bitty bird-like thing, and watching her stagger into a library carrying promotional materials that are bigger and way more than she does because her publisher told her she had to handle marketing.
Yeah.
And
I don't know any writer other than maybe Brandon Sanderson or Larry that can market worth of shit.
We're not bad at it.
Well, you're not. As a group.
Yeah.
You as a marketer sucked.
You'd be surprised. But I got Mike.
You sucked.
Mike on here is really good.
Yeah.
I've got several. There are several vanity presses that Jim and I have.
Yeah.
That they regularly burn Cupid dolls, hoping I will fuck off because there are several in this area that have changed names 5 or 6 times. Because I dislike those guys intensely.
We ran one woman out of the writers group.
Oh, she got pissed.
Yeah.
The fun part was that she came in, writers group, and she's a publisher, and it's like, huh. And so I started asking questions, and Jim and I both did, and she didn't know that this is J.L. Curtis and I'm Law Dog. And she knew the names, but she didn't connect them to us.
Yeah.
And after she got shitty and she found out, oh, that's Law Dog, the look on her face, the sudden blossoming realization was beautiful.
Yeah, she did not even stick around for the
dessert
afterwards.
Hadn't been back either.
And has never been back. And they've changed the name of the company.
At least once.
At least once, if not twice. Yeah. So, yeah, we've done our best to run them off from our little area.
And they were particularly bad. Most vanity publishers, most of them, these were a particularly egregious example of the breed. Because most of them take your stuff and put it up and then keep sucking money out of you. This heifer would took your manuscript, paid you between $50 and $250 for it, put her name on it,
Yeah.
and publish it under her name.
Yeah.
You do realize that. Oh, I'm sorry, I published under a Law Dog.
Yeah.
And that was back when I was, number 1 in humor and number 84 in all of Amazon. And this heifer monitored the Amazon list pretty hard.
Yeah.
And it looked like somebody goosed her in the ass with an ice cube. It was great.
Oh, anyway, on to more cheerful things.
Well, the thought of the look on her expression when she found out who I was makes me all sorts of cheerful.
Yeah. Because you need to publish under a known name. Yeah, she actually said that, Rick.
Yeah, she did.
Oh.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Fine print says that that they're ghostwriting for you.
Yeah.
Well, my name will get you out there for more sales. Yeah, but since you're only paying $50, why do we care about more sales? Goldfish.
Yeah. Yeah, we got her.
Bitch.
Yeah. But local libraries can generate not only sales but readers for you.
Oh yeah.
And if you're in an anthology, buy a couple of them, donate them to your local library. They'll get read. Then they'll start looking for your name. Yeah.
Humana. Yeah. If you'll tell a librarian that you're a local author and that you're in it, odds are all the local librarians I know will be quite happy to stick you up front and center.
The other thing is, at least in Texas, don't bother trying to sell to a school library.
No.
I tried that with my Gray Man series and also with my first book in the science fiction series. And the first question I was asked, by three different library systems was, are there any weapons in the book? Yes, it's a Western.
And accurate ones.
And it's accurate. Oh, well, we can't take
Can't touch it. Nope.
Say what? Oh, we can't put a book in the library, even if it's written by a local author, that has any kind of weapon use in it.
Yeah.
And I just looked at all three of these women and went, really? And they went, yeah.
Sorry.
We have an approved list. Obviously, I was not on the approved list.
They get over it.
Yeah. Winkle Red, if you can sneak it in the back door. Well, Dawn, you do sometimes end up in the paper for other reasons. Yes. No name is both good and bad, depending.
Point. But on to more cheerful things. Like I said, Alien Family Values is out. Sandra Medlock was our guest editor, and it's really, really good. The interior, Cedar outdid herself with the interior illustrations, and the adverts that Mike and the guys came up with are great. And so y'all need to buy that book. But
What in the hell are they doing in here?
why not? Those are the ones I was working on to fix the spring joint.
Oh. Strange things in Ian's play box.
This little doohickey right here that keeps it was broken, so I was sitting there. I was fiddling with it so it would actually function.
Well, at least that's quiet.
Hey. Anyway, so it's fixed.
Publish under an ethnic sounding name. Tell them you're gender fluid. Yeah. No, not worth it. I'm an old fart. I don't give a shit. I am what I am, warts and all. Honestly, I don't care if you like me or not. I don't care if you read me or not. But at least my stuff's going to be accurate, or as close to it as I can make it. Don't cut the red wire. Yeah. It's always the blue wire.
Too late.
Yeah.
No, except for I've been going off on rants. Apparently, very good for our Substack. rants about various things that people have associated Racketeer Press with. But apparently very, very good for our Substack leadership.
Fixing black lights on the glow in the dark mini golf course. Oh, Brennan, that has to be fun.
Fun.
Well, Alaska, it's dark a lot up there. So glow in the dark plays in more ways than one.
Yeah, and UV is good for the seasonal
Yeah,
affective disorder.
Yeah.
Colorblind electricians are on.
Colorblind electricians are on fire. Yeah. Trying to figure out which color am I cutting.
Oh, gotcha. No weapons. Yeah. We
Yeah,
got,
so much for Shakespeare.
Itchy Paw has a big arcade that just moved into the old Diller Superstore at the mall. And Rita and I were over there last night, and she discovered they've got coin pusher machines.
Oh God.
Oh yes. She has studied those. And I was watching her take a look at and she was sussing out, found the one that had the most unbalanced coins, was sussing stuff out. It's like, plunk my butt on a chair and just wait.
Yeah. There is a skill to that.
There is, and damn, she's good at it.
Yeah.
She's gonna wind up getting kicked out of Tilt sooner or later.
Yeah, speaking of which, I saw in the paper today they're closing pennies down. So
couldn't the Itchy Paw Mall, Sac Center Mall, been there since '74. Used to be out in the boonies.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Got bought up by a company that specializes in buying up decaying malls.
Yeah.
And every one of the anchor stores that were bringing people in got into a fight with a new company about
the rental
rates, leasing, and had to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, Dillard's was about the only decent men's store there.
Yeah, Sears left in 2015.
Yeah, Sears didn't have an argument with them, but
Yeah.
Dillard's did. It was the only decent men's store in town.
Yeah.
Dillard's got crosswise with them. Got Westfield. I believe it is Westfield.
Yeah.
It is Westfield.
Yeah.
Dillard's got an argument with them and left. Penny's got an argument with them and has left. There have been several folks that got,
And all that's left now is a restaurant, Books A Million, and I think they're the only two chains that are in there.
I don't even think the restaurant's a chain anymore.
On
Oh,
the
Round
border.
Robin. Well, Round Robin's Red Robin. Red Robin's there.
Oh,
On the borders
that.
there. But the thing about on the border, it doesn't have an interior mall entrance.
Yeah,
you only
that's
get
right. It's exterior only.
exterior only. Now, American malls are running. Yes, I've quite honestly, I think malls are due for the great cycle of life and all that. I think malls are due for a resurgence because, let's face it, air conditioning, no sunburns, and air conditioning.
Well, Japanese malls are interesting
No, I don't know.
because they're vertical rather than horizontal.
Really?
So it's literally, by floor.
No.
So they'll stack 6, 7 stories, 6 or 7 different floors. So each
Hey.
floor is a separate store.
Oh,
So you can get some real interesting things.
Rita tells me there's a mall in the Metroplex that's been going great guns for the past 40 or 50 years. But I miss malls. And this one, this company specializes in buying up decrepit malls. I think somebody said Westfield.
Yeah.
I believe it is Westfield. And they're running it into the ground.
Yep.
Which is a pity. I spent a lot of time in my senior year when we were back in Texas. Spent a lot of time at the mall.
Yeah, Brennan, you're right. Carrefour, which is the French equivalent of Walmart.
Oh.
They are like Dollar General is in the States. They will go in dirt cheap to anchor a mall.
Hmm.
Now, you won't see them in an upscale mall anywhere
Okay.
overseas. Urban youth, yeah, that's another one that'll kill them all in a hurry.
That's the thing I don't understand. A mall is a controlled exit, controlled entry. I mean, you're channeled. There should be no way people can get stupid in a mall without being immediately spotted.
But they don't have enough security.
Yeah.
The Potomac Mall in Northern Virginia, Arlington, Virginia, was three floors, probably 60,000 square feet, give or take. Three different aisles, three different hallways, two security guards.
Well, it's with modern.
With 9 entrances.
Now, the back when Sykes was up and booming,
Yeah.
they had armed security, and they had a solid set of rules.
Yeah.
You didn't go in there wearing gang colors.
Yeah.
And if you got caught being stupid, you were trespassed, and you were trespassed from the mall. And they were serious about enforcing the trespass
Yeah.
warnings. And when it was going great guns, and Sears was there, and Penny's, and 2 Dillards, and the big name stores, and the like I said, that if you showed up gang activity, they threw you out. And there was, I'm pretty sure that somebody, probably ACLU or SPLC,
Yeah.
got shitty about that. But yeah, it's controlled and channeled. It should be fairly easy to lock down or identify morons.
Well, a lot of it happens in the food court.
Mhm.
And I saw one riot in the food court there at Potomac Mills or at Potomac Mall. And, I was getting ready to go down to food court to get something to eat, and I saw that starting. I was like, oh, I'm out of here.
Yeah, the thing is you get the riots in Waffle House.
Yeah.
There are riots in restaurants all over the place.
Yeah.
And the wilding, the running in, and there are plenty of places that get wilded without being in a mall. Ask Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. Oh, SPLC had layoffs? No, I missed that one.
Good. SPLC, talk about parasites.
Build retirement homes for Gen X at the malls. Differ says El Paso Mall also has a cat cafe. So, that's a Chinese restaurant.
Right next to the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, it serves cat.
Yeah, I said I don't imagine that Sykes Center is going to be at Ichball much longer.
Yeah.
And the terrible thing is they're discussing tearing it down and building a stadium.
Well, they needed to do that.
But not there, they don't. Not in that location.
If that was going to support MSU, that's where it should go.
No, there's not enough parking. There's not enough. The highway access is
Highway access is going to suck.
Yeah, there's it's on the corner of Kemp and Midwestern Parkway are 2 major thoroughfares, and both of them are 4-lane divided, small 4-lane divided.
Yeah.
So if you put in a goddamn stadium there on the major business thoroughfare, whenever there's anything going on, it's going to be blocked, and every other business on Kemp is going to be screwed.
Yeah. They don't care.
Mm.
Yeah, Rick, they actually do stadiums, high school stadiums down here that'll
They've got one. It's out on
30 or 40,000 people.
It's on Southwest Parkway.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Dollar General, they have boxes all over the floors and the aisles. Yes.
I dislike Dollar General. It's a sign of the times, and I dislike it.
Yeah.
Slovenly, sloppy, mass market Chinese bullshit.
Yeah. That I always remember, and this was many, many years ago, 1970, a football game against our crosstown rivals, Texarkana Tigers, against Odessa Permian in the Cotton Bowl.
Hmm?
for the Texas 4A championship.
Championship games will bring
70,000 people
Yeah.
filled that Cotton Bowl for a high school football game.
yeah.
As Don says, yes, it's Texas.
High school football is our state religion.
You know, a lot of people said Friday Night Lights was all bullshit.
Hell no.
No, it was not. It was not. Trust me. You could be driving out through places in Texas, out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a football stadium. And it's like, where in the hell do they draw people? 70 miles around, people will come on Friday night to watch a football game. Yeah. Yeah, RK, that's a good point. San Antonio has one indoor mall, and we don't go there. Yeah. Thanks, Rick. I'll check that out later.
What the hell is that about?
That's about SPLC.
Oh, good.
They put a Dollar General in the middle of the highway, 20 miles north of Columbus. Oh,
I don't like Dollar General. It's a symptom of modern thinking. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's slovenly, fast, sloppy, Chinese bullshit knockoffs. I don't. The corporate itself has a terrible mindset and climate. My brother worked for them for years.
out of date stuff sold.
They're just.
Yeah.
I don't go to Dollar General because I don't support that bullshit.
Yeah.
Have some fucking pride.
Because the kids are there anyway. There's only 2 schools in those 70 miles. Yeah, well, that may be true too.
We're getting an Amazon fulfillment center in Ichipa, by the way,
The hell?
out off of Airport and I-44 behind the Cracker Barrel.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Apparently,
That'll be interesting.
it will.
I guess they're. Well, that would make sense because we're 2 hours out of Dallas.
Mhm.
So, yeah. And we've got train tracks.
Train tracks, and we are the major metropolitan area for North Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the thing is, America exports some really crappy stuff. Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken, for God's sakes.
There's a Nando's right there. Why are we going to Kentucky Fried?
Yeah. But I mean, I've been all over the friggin' world and go in a mall, and one of the really high end malls, I mean, we're talking Prince level and King level malls in Bahrain,
Mhm.
where everything is Arabic, and down in the corner, a little bitty, maybe 2-inch letters is the English name of whatever the store is. And the food court's got a friggin' Kentucky Fried Chicken in it.
When we were in Abu Dhabi in 79 or 80, I forget which.
Yeah.
There was we had a Burger Queen downstairs and a Dairy King upstairs.
Yeah.
And it was the logos were damn near the same with different colors.
Yeah.
But, seriously, you got, why? Oh, speaking of, we're supposed to be getting a Pollo Loco in Ichipa.
Yeah.
And
I'm waiting.
Yeah, it's not Nando's, but
It's damn good.
it's not Nando's, but it's better than, I like grilled chicken.
First McDonald's and Pizza Hut in Moscow. Yeah, and Pizza Hut was the other one. But, here's this top of the line, beautiful, including Gold Dome Mall in Bahrain for the upscale clientele. And the food court is Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut, and I forget what the other one was. It was not Sabaros. It might have been Sabaros.
It's Sbarro's, I bet. Sbarro's.
And then off in the corner was a little falafel place. Falafel place. And that was it.
I haven't had KFC since I got my first Nando's.
Yeah.
Around here, if you're going to get fried chicken, it's what Rita calls rocket chicken, Chicken Express.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I'm waiting for a grilled chicken place to go in.
Yeah.
Grilled chicken place.
KFC when you were blessed in Romania. Well, it would prevent you from starving, but you missed some good food. Romanian food's good.
The range food's not bad.
Yeah.
They
do like their poppy seed stuff, though.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Whew, everything.
Yeah. So just don't take a drug test when you come back.
I'm waiting for Rapid Fired Pizza to take over to run Pizza Hut out of business.
Yeah, that's why the Navy bases, anyway, all over the country and most of the parts of the world now have what they call Main Street. And that is 3, 4, 5 stores, food places. Sabaro's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, obviously. A&W Root Beer, strangely enough. Pizza Hut. Cinnabon, and usually something like Long John Silver's.
Those are not the ones I would have picked.
No, but they're the most recognizable ones to 99% of the people. And the amount of people that will crowd into those because it's that reminder of home. It's not that the food's good. The food's better over at the local mess, but they will go there simply because it reminds them of home.
Hmm? No, hate chicken. Oh, we got 2 hate chickens, and we love hate chicken, but that's chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A does the best chicken sandwich, bar none. But if I want chicken, not a chicken sandwich, but a piece of chicken I can pick up, Rocket Chicken or Chicken Express.
Rocket Chicken's not bad. Rocket Chicken also does pretty good fish because they have to do it fresh.
They'll do it fresh. Golden, Popeyes. Rita loves Popeyes.
I'll take Popeyes over Church's or Golden or any of those other ones, including KFC.
Well, I'll take anything with KFC. I said I'm waiting for if you never had a Rapid Fired pizza, it's a chain. Rapid Fired is a fantastic pizza.
Yeah,
and I'm waiting for them to kick Pizza Hut and Domino's and Papa John's.
Yeah.
Off the leaderboard because Rapid Fire makes really good pizza.
Rick, you do have a good point. I've just eaten off of steam tables for so many years. It's just, you don't think about it. You just, I'll take some of that, some of that, some of that. At least these days, they don't pile it on top of each other. Each one gets in its own little compartment on the tray.
When I was wearing a uniform, I had to go eat wearing a uniform, especially as a cop. I liked going to places with steam tables where I could pick my own food or I watch them making my food because I dislike extra DNA in my chow.
Yeah. Publix is good, yes. Korean fried chicken, Thai boxing chicken, yeah.
I can get, I just fed Jonna a Chicken Express #1 combo.
Yeah.
Which is, it's nothing to write home about, but it'll keep body and soul together.
Yeah.
I say if we can get a Nando's up here, it'll change a whole lot of people's life. It'll change their lives.
Oh.
And I hear Pollo Loco is pretty good. It's also fire grilled.
Yeah.
I like grilled chicken.
Oh, arcade.
Yes, I'm ranting about Nando's again.
I would kill for some gyro-roasted chicken out of Spain right now. Gyro-roasted chicken with the
That sounds lovely.
with the potatoes in the bottom.
Yes.
Oh.
So I've just had a really lovely, cheerful conversation with my son, and we are going to be attending a naturalization ceremony after his graduation from boot camp because several of his buddies in his division are doing the graduation and then their naturalization ceremony.
Outstanding.
Very cool.
So, and they have evidently been writing down lists of foods that they like from their countries, and Johan's going to be sending it to me because that's so.
Bag of burgers. Here you go, kid.
Yeah.
Well, there's at least one kid that's from Nigeria in his thing.
They love peanuts and everything. Don't.
When they want to know when Johan graduates.
Okay. maybe June 27th.
Yeah.
He's failed a physical test. He'll be doing it again on Monday. If he continues to have issues with it, then he will be asthmaed and held back until he can pass the physicals, which I knew about. And that's why when I bought tickets, I did so. I paid extra so that I had stuff that I
The
could
insurance?
change if
Yeah.
necessary. Well, the insurance won't cover
Yeah.
things like this, but what I did is paid extra for the plane ticket so I can actually change the dates of travel.
All right,
'Cause I knew
folks,
this might be
we've
an
wasted another hour of your
Holy crap.
hour plus of your
5
time.
minutes
Sorry. Food is good. Yes, food is love.
Nando's. Eat at Nando's.
Oh, and he wanted to make sure that I let y'all know that he got a ribbon for small arms marksmanship.
He
Good.
did.
Yep.
All right.
I didn't know the Navy gave those.
Oh yeah.
I'm good. Good,
Anyway.
good on this problem.
Remember, don't sweat the fatty stuff. Don't fed the sweaty stuff.
Eat at Nando's. Y'all be safe.
And have a good weekend. And be thankful you don't have to put up with it.